Epson EcoTank ink is a ripoff, and I'm going to tell you why here in this video. Hey, what is going on? The printer guy here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about Epson EcoTank ink and specifically it being a ripoff compared to some other options that you have online on the market, other options that you have as far as ink for your Epson EcoTank printer. If this video ends up being helpful, please make sure to like the video. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Now, there are going to be links down in the description below for products that I end up talking about here in this video, so check out those links. And there's also going to be video chapters down below this video, so you can skip around if you feel that you need to. All right, so generally, when you're looking at Epson EcoTank ink, whether it's dye-based or pigmented, you're looking at a cost between $50 and $75. But what if the cheaper third-party ink that's on the market, such as the ones on Amazon, gave you the same or better results? Would you still go with the Epson branded ink over third-party branded ink that is non-Epson ink? So what I've been doing for over a year is I've been working on this project where I've been using a third-party ink and I've been using Epson ink hand in hand, also doing some photo tests and trying to see what is the difference between the Epson branded ink and, let's say for example, Best Printers branded ink that is linked down in the description below. So when we look at the basis of the Epson EcoTank printer, really the promise there by Epson is that you're going to save money on ink because you have this tank system. Ink is going to go a lot further. You're not going to have to use cartridges anymore. You're going to move to this bottle-based system where you're going to save a lot of money on ink. But slowly, the cost of that Epson ink has been increasing steadily, and we're now looking at a price point that is much higher than we initially had started. And of course, initially the printer that you probably bought came with ink already, and so that ink was free in a sense, and the ink was still really cheap. The prices were much lower than they are today. So why is Epson ink slowly starting to get more and more expensive if it was not as expensive maybe, let's say, 2 years ago, but it's now becoming more expensive? One of the major things that you will read if you look at your user manual or your warranty really that comes with your Epson is Epson explicitly states that if damage occurs because of the use of third-party or non-Epson, non-genuine Epson ink, then your warranty will be voided. Now, why are they doing that? And the answer is pretty simple. The answer is that they are wanting to sell more of their product because really, based on the research that I have done and the testing that I have performed on many different Epson EcoTank models, is that a third-party branded ink versus Epson ink is going to be virtually the same. It's dye-based ink. Black with Epson ink is the same as black with third-party ink. You really are just looking for a compatible ink that works with your Epson. Now, could you tell the difference between Epson dye-based ink, for example, in an Epson EcoTank 4800 printer versus third-party ink? Meaning that, how would Epson know that there's a difference between their ink and the third-party ink and therefore void your warranty? Well, the only way your warranty would be voided is you would tell the truth and you would say that I did end up using third-party ink instead of the Epson genuine ink, and so therefore my warranty is voided. But there is no way that Epson can test and know that ink that is in the Epson EcoTank printer is theirs or some third party, because dye-based ink is simply dye-based ink. Now, we had this same situation when Epson did not have this bottle-based tank system of a printer, the Epson EcoTank lineup. When it was a cartridge-based printer, they would make the same claim, is if you use a third-party cartridge, then your warranty is voided and your printer could be damaged. And at that time, it was easy for Epson, HP, all the major brands to simply change the chip on the ink cartridge, and that would essentially remove your ability to use a third-party ink cartridge. Now that there are bottles, there's really no way to switch anything up like that other than maybe the pattern on the bottle that fits directly in there. But companies like Best Printers will sell you bottled ink that doesn't require that pattern. It's just a straight shot. It's a circle that fits right on there, and your ink will begin filling. So really, when you look at the price per milliliter, you're looking at, and really as a whole, as a set, you know, specifically this set that I have here that's linked down in the description below, you're going to be paying around $20 to $25 for all the ink that you need, for every color, for 2 black colors, and then one single individual bottle for each color thereafter. So you have 2 black bottles, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and that is plenty of ink, and that's really all you would need for an extended period of time, depending on your usage. Now, when you're looking at the cost, and you're looking at the OEM genuine Epson ink, you are paying $50 to $75 for that whole set, and so your savings really end up being 50 or more % off of what Epson is selling you. They're able to actually charge you 50% more because your warranty will be voided if you use non-Epson ink. Again, there is no way that Epson will know. And I don't say that in a way to try to circumvent policies that Epson has set. My main purpose in saying that is that there is no difference in the ink. If they were able to test the ink and know that it was theirs or somebody else's, then you could claim that you're cheating the system and you're not really going by the rules. And although that warranty provision does affect those printers that use ink cartridges because you have the chip, and so you would know that that chip is not an Epson chip, that is a third-party chip. That is a little bit more understandable, and still the same applies with the ink though. The ink that's actually inside that cartridge. Is it Epson ink or is it a third-party ink? How do you know that? There really is no way to tell because it is dye-based ink to its core. Look, there are Epson EcoTank printers that are able to use sublimation ink, which sublimation is a much thicker, totally different type of ink, and of course that voids your warranty right away as well, but people are willing to do that to be able to use the Epson EcoTank printers for sublimation printing. I've done it myself. There's the claim that Epson makes where if you use non-Epson ink, there could be damage to your printer. I've been using these different types of inks for a few years now, and I have not seen any difference between the Epson EcoTank printers that have Epson ink and the Epson EcoTank printers that have third-party ink and sublimation ink. As long as they're routinely maintained and they are used frequently, there's really no issue with any type of ink that you end up using with the Epson EcoTank printer. I will say with sublimation ink, a little bit more care and attention is needed, but outside of that, all of these inks perform pretty similarly. Now, not all third-party inks are equal. Of course, you're gonna have your bad apples, you're gonna have those that advertise one product and give you another, and that exists really in any industry. But it's pretty easy to see, and you're able to, through customer reviews on Amazon, get a genuine picture on whether or not this third-party company that you're looking at has a good product, a good high-quality dye-based ink or pigmented-based ink, because both of those can be used. As soon as you understand the difference between dye-based ink and pigmented ink, you'll be able to shop for ink for your Epson EcoTank printer easily, whether your printer requires dye-based ink or pigmented ink, and based off of that, you'll know what type of third-party ink you'll be able to buy. Now, could there be some design flaws with the bottled ink that you end up purchasing from a third-party company? Again, yes, but if you look online, and really that's what we're trying to do here at Best Printers, is perfect the products that we end up creating, constantly adding more value, constantly improving those products so that the end user is happy with that product and is able to afford that product at a good price. Now, really, if you were looking to do really high quality photos and you wanted to guarantee that you were going to have the best quality, I would go with Epson ink, because you surely will get the product that is compatible with your printer. Now, if you're doing standard printing documents, and you're not really doing anything that's specialized, I would say give it a shot. Find a product, find a third-party ink like Best Printers that's linked down below. Maybe you give our Epson compatible ink a try, and you save a few bucks along the way, and if you're satisfied with that product, you can continue to purchase that product and your Epson EcoTank printer will work just fine with that third-party ink. Personally, I think that when you're printing, you never know when you're going to have an influx of print jobs that comes in and you end up using a lot of ink. It's really nice to be able to get ink that is a lot cheaper than what Epson is selling, and in reality, when you really think about it, you use critical thinking and common sense, you will understand that Epson is simply trying to sell more Epson product. And is there some merit to their claim? Yes, in the instance that you end up buying from an unreputable seller that is selling a so-called compatible product for your printer, but has not been tested or proven and has no reviews, in that case, yes, their provision stands that would void your warranty if you use that product. But there are so many good sellers out there that are selling really good product, and at the end of the day, if it's the same dye-based ink, as long as it's dye or pigmented based ink, you determine which one you need for your printer, then I believe that you can get a good deal on ink that is virtually the same as Epson's ink. All right, I'd like to start a discussion down in the comment section. If you have an opinion on this topic, or you have some insight that I may not have, go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If this video was helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Also, make sure to check out the link down in the description below for some best printers ink for the Epson EcoTank lineup. Dye-based ink and pigmented ink are available at the Best Printers Amazon store. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I handpicked 2 videos that are here on the screen for you to watch next. Also, consider subscribing to this channel. There's so much helpful content for you if you're a printer owner, and it's just good to have a resource like this for you in the future, whether you're dealing with a printer that's not printing well or you need more printer recommendations. So I look forward to seeing you again in another video.